What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to the channel. You know why we're here. It's Sunday. And what do we do on Sundays? Love and Marriage Huntsville. So y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's take a little trip down to Huntsville, see what's going on over there. Know what I mean? I'll tell you what's going on. Tisha and Nell are still over at this little place where Tisha be having her, what's up, T? Made it this week. I'm a little late today. Normally I do at 2:00, but I'm here at 2:30. Child. Anyway, Tisha and Nell are still at this coffee place, and Tisha circled back around because she said, she has still carries some level of respect for Miss Nell, so she thinks she should come back in and continue this conversation. I'm like, we don't need it. We don't need the conversation. It was, it is what it is. I feel like either she felt stupid because she looked stupid the way she walked out of there talking about that lady was yelling at her when she was not. You could look cute and stupid at the same time. I still stand by the fact that she looked real cute, even though she was overdressed for a coffee shop, but she looked cute and she looked stupid. So either that or production told her to take her ass back in there and finish that scene because Miss Nell didn't get up. She was like, I'm gonna finish my coffee. That's what I would have did. I'm gonna finish my coffee. This girl is stupid. I feel like Tisha has become a professional gaslighter, just like her husband Marceau. Don't yell at me. I have PTA. I don't yell at me here because this is where I hold PTA meetings for my son. And I'm like, the son that's about to graduate, my kids are graduated and I've never been a PTA mom. So this is neither here nor there for me. But for the PTA moms, do y'all be over holding coffee meetings with your school that's about to graduate kids? Do the PTA still be there for like the high school students? I feel like when you think of PTA mom, you're thinking about the kids, like the elementary and middle school kids. But this boy is about to go to college. What are you PTAing about? I feel like there's so many other things. Tisha, stop it. What you say, T? She definitely wasn't yelling, but you was in her husband's face. Absolutely. And I felt like the way that whole interaction went should have been, I was a little tipsy now. I apologize for getting in Chris's face. I was upset about what he said, but I had no business. Like I was doing too much. Done. Easy. Now we can go ahead and have this coffee and build on this relationship that we're supposed to be having. But you over here acting like, this is where you hold your PTA meetings and this lady was yelling. We see Miss Nell yelling and snapping off all the time over nothing. The lady snapped off about not having a name tag on her very luxurious resort bedroom. But this time she was not. She was actually very calm. I don't know what was in that tea, but I think that Miss Nell, tea, coffee, whatever, Miss Nell needed to pack up some of that to go home with. Because, you saying she was yelling and probably one of her mildest moments that we've ever seen. Anyway, teacher be gaslighting. Tisha explains to Nell how, she's getting all teary-eyed and she's explaining to her how over the years she's had all these people coming at her with rumors and it's affecting her marriage and her life and she just wants it to stop. And then they have a flashback to Martell and Wanda. Martell and Wanda were the only two people. Wanda is your mama, questioning your man about the rumors. So it ain't the streets. It was your mother. And Martell, who was back then, he was the homie. He ain't the homie so much now, but I'm just saying. Tisha is in her confessional. She says that Miss Nell should understand how she feels since she's actually gone through and dealt with infidelity. And Mel, she came at Mel, but I didn't see Mel in that clip. It was just her mama and Martell. Her and Mel was going back and forth. Mel told her to pull up, but she don't like receipts because if she has receipts, then she has to say she has receipts. She don't want no receipts, so she can say she has not ever experienced this. But Miss Nell has, and she should be over here with some type of compassion because she's been through it. Um, Tisha, if you've never had to deal with infidelity the way you stand on business and say you haven't, then what is you in tears about? I don't understand. Like, over the years, my marriage has suffered. Why? It's just rumors and lies. It hasn't actually happened and you don't have any proof. So what are we so emotional about, girl? And I don't know. I feel like if she would add one more sentence to that, they would quit picking on her. Because I feel like, and it's not just in her mind, at some point, people were coming at her so hard that they, I guess, did have expectations of her leaving her husband, which everybody pick up a mirror then for all you matrimony people. Pick up a mirror and, say what it really is. But the thing I feel like people keep coming at her about is because you keep acting like it's because you haven't seen it, then that means it hasn't happened. And instead of you saying the rumors are irritating and they're hurtful, and I don't know what this man has done, but I have not seen it. Say that. Don't sit up here and pretend like I have never experienced it. She's experienced it, but I have not. Imagine what you've experienced like behind closed doors and not on camera. Right. Just say you heard some rumblings, but I haven't had any proof. That's it. What can somebody say with that? Because at the end of the day, if she does have proof, if she does know, more details, I wouldn't be out here telling these people either. Like, no, miss, I want people to be transparent. And what? Tell you my business? I don't have to do that. And people that be out here talking about it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. I'm not about to stay in this relationship. I wonder, out here with the perfect marriages, I wonder if it was a deal breaker, or is everybody walking around like Tisha talking about, I ain't seen nothing. Anyway, this conversation, it's weird to me. I don't know why Nell brought up being a mentor. She said she shouldn't have done that, and that she should have said that they're building a friendship. You're right. That's what you should have said. Having a conversation with somebody that's younger than you doesn't make you their mentor, or at all. I feel like those are understandings that people have spoke about. You know what I'm saying? You can't surprise me with being my mentor. I feel like that's something that we have had a conversation about. And I say, I feel like, you're mentoring me on this thing or that thing. But, what is you, a life mentor? She says she's what is she, a life coach? As what? I wish Miss Nell would just focus on being like the daycare lady. You know what I'm saying? It's a business. It's a long-standing business. It's an important business because it's nice to be able to take your kids when you're a working parent to somewhere where they're going to be well taken care of. And you know what I'm saying? So leaving your kids at daycare is scary enough. So be standing on that. That's something that you should be proud of. But you're talking about you a counselor and a mentor and you're certified. If you're going to be my life coach, my certified, whatever, she's certified as what? I don't know what she's even certified as. No. Life coach is absolutely different than counselor. That's what I'm saying. And then mentor, is that a real job or is that like, you volunteer to do? Stop saying any of that because it doesn't make sense, especially if we haven't had any conversation. Just because Mel and Marcel, child, I was doing so good. Just because Mel and Martell came over to y'all's house to have a conversation that went very bad. Like, don't act like you mended anything. That conversation was disaster. This lady was tossing tables and things. So if you're going to be considered a mentor or a life coach or something, I want to see you be actively doing that. Not down to the bar on a mechanical bull telling people that you're their counselor mentor. It don't make sense. That's why they don't respect it. And you got enough going on. And mentor them children of yours. A person usually chooses who they look up to as their mentor. That's what I said. I thought it was like I said, the coach or, somebody that is doing something that you aspire to do as well. You tell them that. You follow behind them in a certain type of way. But it's a conversation, yeah, that you have. You can't meet me and sit down at the bar, have a few cocktails with me, and then tell me you're my mentor. Get somewhere with that. Nothing that I've established in my life shows that you had any input on it. And I don't know. Miss Nell, like I said, being the daycare lady is something that I'd be very proud of. Just do that. These booked and busy people get on my nerves because they be saying they're doing so many things and you don't see them doing nothing. I see her down to the daycare every now and then. Obviously, they can't show each people's children, but I'm fine with that because that seems more real. You meeting up over here with coffee with Tisha, child, is a waste of everybody's time, including y'all's, because y'all's are in the confessional talking shit at this very moment. So these meetups and tea parties and ponderosas is just bullshit. That's not even the way you build friendships, I don't think. Like, I feel like a coffee meetup should have been maybe one more person. And not to discuss that bullshit, Tisha. You could apologize for that. You know you would. Oh, I was tipsy. I don't remember. Why not? Well, how much was you drinking? You about to develop a different reputation. You and Maurice out here driving into things. We're going to get to that, but I'm going to take my time. Maurice goes to visit Kimmy at her office. Is his office in the office? Because, I mean, he didn't come over there. She said he doesn't do it very often. He's such a goof. Keep him out of your office. Kimmy, unlike Tisha, has an office. We've seen her there. Even her office, she owns the building. So the office space is rented out where people pay her a check. Kimmy has businesses. Thank God, because Kimmy asked Maurice, what else you got to do today? And this work. And he pivoted over to talk about Martell. Maurice, we already know. You work less and talk a lot. That's what your wife says. So we know you didn't have more work to do. I'm about to go have a conversation with Martell. This irritated me. I'm like, I don't know what's more confusing. I don't know if it's the fact that Maurice over here seems to think that Martell is spiraling out of control, or Kimmy's outrage, about how Martell has always been this person. Really? Because it just seems like Kimmy, when Melody was going through all that drama, and I mean, like her or not, you don't have to like her to admit that you see what's going on. But you don't want to do that. You said he was a nice guy. He's a good guy. Meanwhile, this lady is over here like being stalked down to restaurants and, just torturous things that this man was over here doing. We know it. Harassing communications. I don't care what the verdict is. We know what he was doing. We've seen or heard this girl Ariane on live while he's out there bamming on the door like a lunatic. So he's not like just specifically sending this type of energy to only Melody. He was over there doing the same thing to Ariane. That poor girl's head is probably so screwed around she don't know her ass from her elbow. Maurice is out here to clear his name. That's his only concern. Maybe he should shut up. He's not doing a good job at it. If you need legal advice, please find somebody else, because this man can't plead his own case. Jesus. He's a good guy, I guess. Maurice, shut up. Martell is one of the nicest men, he said, that he's ever met. That's where it all went wrong. Anybody that starts there with Martell is probably the nicest man you've ever met. You probably say something. If he had said that about Dr. Francis, we would be like, oh, probably. Martell, I can see him standing in a courtroom trying to be defense. Puffy is giving the same energy. Puffy Martell is one of the nicest men you ever meet. That's where we're going to start. Stupid. I don't know. He was saying a bunch of stuff, but when Maurice starts talking, my ears stop listening because my brain hates bullshit. So he was saying a bunch of stuff about how Martell's nice and yada yada yada, and Kimmy looking at him like every time you sit down and have a conversation with Martell, then I end up being the one looking a fool. Because what's going to happen is Kimmy gonna go over there and have a conversation. I mean, Maurice gonna go over there, have a conversation with Maurice, and spill out more stuff that this lady never wanted anybody to know. What'd you say? He sees that Martell stood. Martell is not playing about spilling the tea. It is spilt. It's spilt over there in an interview that Kimmy and Tisha are pretending like they didn't see. That's why the people think you stupid. That's why people think you're stupid, because you're acting like, I feel like any woman anywhere married to any man would be like, I nailed him to the wall that night and interrogated him and asked him 100 billion questions, and I'm still not sure I got all the answers I need. That's what a normal person would say. Not, it didn't even make sense. It didn't hold the weight of water. I just turned it off. You and Maurice think the people are stupid. People just don't know you're stupid because you sitting up here upholding this fool. Kimmy is like, Martell he don't even respect you. And I agree. I feel like Martell values his friendship with Marceau much more than the one with Maurice. Maurice is just Marceau's brother, and he comes along with the package. But he showed y'all last night just how much he thinks you a fool. What's up, Elsid? Elsid come through to support. Love that. I don't even think she watched this show. I feel like Maurice is always collateral damage whenever Martell gets upset, because he doesn't really give a shit if what's this man's name? He doesn't care if Maurice. Golly, these M's will drive me up a wall. Martell doesn't care if Maurice gets his business spilled or what. He just doesn't. I feel like he does care a little bit that everybody likes Marcel better. Monster does, I bet you. We know now that Jalen does. Martell does too. We do too. Everybody likes Marcel better, Maurice. Ugh. Anyway, shots fired. Kimmy told this man, you wasting your time over there meeting up with Martell when you could be doing some of the things that we've been asking you to do with Monster. And the look on his face told me everything I needed to know, that he ain't shit daddy for both Jalen and Monster. What does she mean what we've been telling you to do? We meaning her and Kiowa? Because what other we would it be? Maurice. You sitting over there with that stupid stern look on your face like you're going to go fix Martell. He is forever broken. Please. I don't know that Jesus could do it. Told y'all Monster don't care nothing about that Maurice, because he don't be around. Marceau and Tisha have a little conversation. Tisha wants her girls to focus on marketing. Now, I want Tisha to sit her ass down. He definitely ignored her when she said that. Sorry, she back on Maurice and Kimmy. He definitely ignored her. He just looked at her and kind of kept on. He was like, well, we'll see how things go after I have a conversation. But I feel like there was a moment in his face where you could see he felt stung. So what else can he do but keep it moving? Anyway, Tisha wants her daughter to focus on marketing the product. And I was like, Tisha, standing here in this kitchen, pretending to put oil on this child's head. You want her to focus on marketing. Well, this is Mia and Malia, or Mila and Mia, whatever their names is. Mila, Mia. They don't even look like this no more, Tisha. You talking about marketing. I feel like, first of all, Macy, that's her name, Macy and Mila. They don't match their packaging. Mila has more bass in her voice now than Barry White. And you talking about you want her to market. Market what? She's supposed to be following your lead. I didn't even recognize her. Because she was the little one. You know, it's been a while. Look at them. The packaging, these girls are teenagers. They would like some cool packaging that looks like just for me. Tisha, while you running around having PTA meetings down at the coffee place for your kid that's about to graduate, come over here and show the girl how to market the thing. Talk to Nell. You know, you burned so many bridges. It ain't really nobody. Talk to Kimmy. Kimmy has many jobs, and they seem to be functioning well. They have the whole, you know, product staged on the kitchen counter. I was like, maybe while your husband is building all these rooms, one of those rooms could be turned into a little beauty room, glam room, because you got a lot of glam over there. Then it would have made perfect sense. Look at over here, Tisha. Just throwing it out here. No cost. You can like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. You could have been in a little beauty room with your daughters and their hair care products with different packaging. That packaging looks like just for me. These girls are teenagers. They don't want this. Nobody wants their hair to smell like bubble gum. All I seen on that packaging was bubble gum. Get rid of the bubble gum. When you go to Tisha's page to even find the freaking website for the Macy and Mila, you get linked to her YouTube channel, which I have never been to. I didn't even know she had a YouTube channel. There's 29 videos over there. I might go see later and see what she's doing over there. I can't imagine. Probably talk about perfect marriages. I don't know. But what she need to be doing is talk about these products. If you're going to be bringing it up and selling it, this is why y'all be looking stupid. If you're not going to do it, don't talk about it. Stormy is over there selling products because I feel like she came from the hair industry in the first place. So, you know, you talking to somebody who knows what they're talking about. I don't know what you know how to do, Tisha. They keep saying you got a lot of degrees. I don't know what you know how to do, though. Tisha tells Marceau her version of the story of the meetup with Nell. I mean, I guess they always do that. They always come back and tell the story remixed, and hers was a remix. And they sit there and take a few jabs at Nell because, you know, she claims to be certified, whatever she's certified in. And I'm with Marceau. You certified what? Certified daycare center lady. Just be that. Jesus. She tells him, you know, that Nell was irritated by her being in her husband's face. And Marceau let her know that sometimes she be doing too much. Tisha, I was very distracted. Like, they were having this conversation and I was trying to focus on it, but I was really distracted by the products on the counter because it didn't make sense. But yeah, Marceau threw her under the bus like he always does. You know, girl, you was doing too much. And, you know, Tisha, maybe you should drink like a few Sprites and, you know, then like have a real drink, then drink a few more Sprites. You need to pace yourself different because you're getting out in these streets looking a fool and you're too old for that. They talk about being transparent. She said Destiny told her, you know, that she felt like she was, what do they want her to say? I'm going to agree with that. I feel like nobody is transparent with everyone. You're transparent to who you want to be transparent to, and that would be someone that you feel trusting to. And Marceau was like, well, I tell you what, don't be trusted Destiny because she ain't to be trusted. And I was like, agree. Don't trust Destiny. He said she over there being everybody friend, everybody me and Martell. That's where her loyalty lies, Tisha. And so how can you do that? A friend of, what do you say? A friend of everyone is an enemy to everyone or whatever, however that sounds. I don't know about enemies, but I know you can't be friends on both sides, not of every situation. You know, and if if Martell is going in inappropriately on your friends, you're supposed to shut it down. That's how you're loyal. But Justin, I mean, don't trust her, child. He said, be careful, and he's not wrong. Nell and Chris go shopping at the toy store for their grandkids, and they stand up there and don't do anything. This doesn't make sense either. Like, why are y'all meeting at the toy store? What is this? You could have did this at the house. It would have made more sense. If you're gonna have this conversation, Nell and Fletch, then just have it at the house. Let's sit outside in the back like Kimmy do, have date night, and then you can discuss these things. Who was over there being Martell's friend? Oh, Marceau? Sure was. Sure was. He used to be you. Now that you know Martell has turned on you, now you're telling her to be careful. I still don't think he's wrong. Be careful, because she's the ops for sure. Yeah, I feel like Nell and Chris could have did this at the house. They look stupid standing in this store talking about what's going on with Lance and Destiny. Miss Nell says she wasn't giving him none, and men have needs, and somebody else met them. And I was like, men have needs, Miss Nell. I have needs too, Miss Nell. I need you to come out of Fletcher's ass. Come out of Fletcher's cheating ass with that nonsense. Y'all have needs, please. Nell is telling him about her conversation with Tisha. Tisha says she don't have proof. She says she don't need proof. She says she don't want proof. And Martell in his interview was definitely not proof. So y'all can leave her alone. It's a strange conversation to be having in a toy store. I hate these things that get thrown in. And then you didn't tell him about that at the house last night. You're just now here in the toy store. You didn't bring it up in the car. We're going to go toy store shopping and then bring it up. See, if they was at their house, it would have made more sense to me. I'm just, throwing that out there. Was anybody else bothered? What the hell are they in the toy store for? It didn't make sense. Damn sure it didn't make sense to me. So this was the meetup, child. Martell and Maurice. Every scene so far this season, Martell has made it a point to let us know that he's about to get serious with Ariane. Trying to go ahead and quit playing. Get serious with Ariane. Marriage? Well, hold on, hang on a second. We're not there yet. We got to feel some things out, see if things are right. And then, before you make those types of decisions. Even though it's been 10, 12 years, child, he's still trying to figure it out, but that's neither here nor there. Maurice seems to be trying to fix a problem that Martell is not having. Maurice sees some type of problem and spiral that Martell is going through, and it's just not it. Martell said he's exposing people for lies. That's what he's doing. He's not spiraling. He's not upset. He's not confused. He's not the bad guy. He's not Thanos. He's not any of those people that you said he was. He's just a man standing up for himself when the people be out here in these streets lying on him. Apparently that person is Marceau. Marceau lied on him because he stood on business about the things that were actually happening. But you're not supposed to do that. Y'all vowed to the end of times that you weren't going to be spilling each other's secrets. Well, you didn't stand by me, so contract deleted. He said he was retaliating. He did not want to be made to do that. He really didn't. He gave this man time to call him and apologize, and it just didn't happen. He really didn't want to go there. He gave a time and let the people know this is when it was going to happen. If you don't come and fix this, then it's going to be what it's going to be. Maurice says he feels justified in his actions. He does feel justified. That's why he's over here not sorry, and you're the only one trying to figure out a problem that doesn't exist. He doesn't care about Maurice being caught up in the crossfire, does not care. As far as he's concerned, you and your brother can get it, however it's going to get got. I mean, he said he gave the man an opportunity. I feel like I said, Marceau feels like all of Martell's receipts have expired. And I would agree with that. Like at this point, it's been so long. Whatever Martell has receipts on was years ago. And as a wife, you probably knew something was going on anyway. You know what I'm saying? If they was wilding out there, wilding like the people saying they were, and this is before the fame. So now they have these eyes on them. They know they have to be careful. Some of them have gotten caught out there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So also back in the day, you could do stuff. There wasn't always a camera. Like nowadays, there's literally nothing you can do without being on camera, on film somewhere, go to the store, come out in the parking lot. Everywhere you go during the course of your day, you are on somebody's film, standing somewhere at a restaurant behind people getting their picture taken. Like there's a camera everywhere. So back in the day when they was doing this wild stuff, cell phones were not, a click away from, you being live while you're cheating on your wife. Because that's what their lifestyle is now. I don't think Marceau is worried about that. Martell can say things like, clearly he did. He found a side chick to come spill it. So, the only one that's really pressed about it is what's his name? Maurice. Kimmy wants it to go away. She's like, stop talking, Maurice. Stop talking. Every time you talk, it's a problem. It gets us in trouble. Then I look stupid. She should know better. She have to walk around and be like, I haven't seen anything, so you can just stop saying it. There you go. Stop saying it. The lady told you. Maurice was like, Marceau is not the only person that's, being in the line of fire in the situation that you've created over here. And Marceau is like, well, then you should have went to go talk to your brother. Convinced him to apologize and take back those lies. I don't know who Maurice thought he was getting ready to be running into, but Martell said he'd been waiting on this conversation. And as much as I hate to say it, I was very entertained by it. It was very fun watching Martell let Maurice have it. It was fun as hell. I don't know why. It shouldn't be, but it is. When the bros ain't bros like they used to be bros. Maurice takes this moment, I don't know why, to once again try to prove his innocence in this DUI situation. He gave us a timeline. It's been 2 years. It's taken him a long time to come up with this timeline, but he gave us a timeline, and I feel like we're good, bro. It doesn't matter. Whatever the timeline is, it didn't affect you negatively. I don't know why you're still talking about it. Your wife is where she's supposed to be. We don't care. You left the parking lot and 30 minutes later, we don't care now. You wasn't saying that when Mel asked you what happened. When she asked you what happened, you were like, it's besmirching my reputation. Can't speak about that. If everything said the way you said, forensics proved you weren't lying, so you should have just been like, I ain't even worried about it. This is what happened. Nope. He said now, these are details. Did you hear these details before? Because I did not. I don't remember these details. He said he hit an animal and he hit a tree and a pole. He never said what? He never said he was hurt. No, he didn't. He didn't say that. He said everything. He was driving and traveling. Where were you going? Traveling to somewhere. Kimmy went home. She went to bed. She woke up and you were still traveling down to the precinct. Child. He hit an animal. Martell is cracking up. And it's so funny watching Maurice get frustrated because Martell is laughing at him because you funny. He said you sound like my 9-year-old. It does, Maurice. The things you're saying does sound like something a child would say. Martell said, did you kill the animal? What was it? See, that's what liars do. You didn't say, I was driving, man. I was driving and a deer ran out in front of me. That's how people tell those stories. I did not see that freaking deer. Here in Florida, it could be deer, bear, cow, moose. I don't know. We don't have moose, but I'm just saying. He didn't say that. He said an animal. You know what that reminds me of? He hit an animal. Sadaric, he did throw Sadaric in there. Okay, throwing Sadaric in there. You know what he remind me of? His brother talking about he in Atlanta with a friend. What friend? Chris Fletcher. Now Sadaric been added to the story. Why? Why didn't you say he stopped by there last time? I was traveling. I don't know who he trying to convince, but he got Martell got him looking the damn fool over here laughing. You know it's bad when Martell got you looking a fool. Now, and he had a concussion. Get out of here. He definitely did have a concussion last time he told the story. He was just traveling and arrested. He had lipstick. We do remember the lipstick. We don't remember the concussion. Ciao. Anyway, at some point there was a trip to Vegas. Now, much like Kimmy, I wasn't paying that close attention to the details of whatever this lady was saying over here on this interview with Ariane and Martell, but Maurice was very much invested in everything he had to say. He even included it in part of his questioning portion of this date between him and Martell. There's a trip to Las Vegas. Apparently, both Marceau and Maurice smashed this lady. Martell said he did not because he thinks the lady was not fine enough. And that's how Martell is. He got a particular type. We seen that lady. I don't know what she looked like back when she was getting flew out. But his answer was, she really wanted me really bad. But I was like, no, I believe him. He had better options, but you niggas like linebackers. That's what they said. Every time, dang, Ariane, I'm not calling Kimmy no linebacker, and I'm not calling Tisha one either. I'm just saying, they said, that girl Ariane said y'all like linebackers, and that lady in that interview was definitely giving linebacker, like one that you find off the streets. Hey, mister, do you got a dime? Toot, toot. Oh, beep, beep. That's what she was giving. Bad girl. Anyway, Martell said he was there. So stop trying to, act like this is some type of mystery that you don't understand. I was there. Everybody was trying to smash. And I wasn't trying to smash this, ew. So Maurice's rebuttal was, what color was the carpet? And I want to know, for everyone out there, the last time you stayed at a hotel, what color was the carpet? I'm going to go with probably blue. I don't know. I don't remember because it was hotel carpet. Come on. Then he went to, what does my wiener look like? So you really like trying to, take what does my wiener look like? Ew. Probably a Vienna sausage, the kinds that come in a little can. I'm just saying. Feels like everything you got is on your head, like your big ass forehead. So there just wasn't really much left when it came to wiener making time. That's what it looks like. Ask me, what do my wiener look like? Ew, you're gross. No, nobody looking at his Peter Wiener. And I don't think ask your brother what your wiener looked like. Because the lady said y'all was in there engaging. He said you was there. And then he's like, were you gambling? Because in the video, you said you were gambling. And Martell said, I was gambling and I was there. Go ahead, Martell, do your thing. Give Martell his check this week. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, give Martell his check with this week. Because he did, he was what he was supposed to do this week. Maurice watched every detail of that video talking about you said you was gambling. He with a pencil and a paper. Gambling. So if he was gambling, can you imagine this clown in a courtroom losing his case for being stupid? I feel like I could be formative against Maurice's goofy self. His cross-examination. Yes, his cross-examination was horrible. Were you feeling like an episode of Barnaby Jones or Ironside or one of them old detective shows where they talk corny? He's delusional. He thinks he's a father. He's over here thinking he's a detective and a lawyer asking questions. And Martell is pretty much like, I lie a lot. This time I'm not lying. He's very quick with the answers. And, when you quick with the answers, you ain't got to think about it. That means you were there and gambling, Maurice. So was that lady. You mean to tell me you didn't work there on that trip to Vegas where Marceau flew that lady out there? Maurice's answer was not, Marcel didn't fly nobody nowhere. Nope, that ain't what he said. He said, I don't know what Marcel did. Oh, really? So then she was there? Maurice, let's cross-examine you. Feels like it would be very easy. He would have been better off saying nothing if he had. First of all, we don't believe you. Second of all, we don't care. Now we know it absolutely happened the way we thought it did. We know you left there on the way coming from your slide's house and you got pulled over smelling like alcohol, because after a few hours, it really be coming out your skin. And we also discovered that Kimmy is used to laying up in that house and you pretending like you sleeping at the office. Both of y'all need to shut up, telling all your business. Oh, well, there's that transparency, child. Miss Nell ain't paying attention. The transparency is there. She focused on what she wanted to hear and she not listening. So Martell, this was like the best part. Martell said, are you an attorney? And Maurice said, absolutely. He said, well, then sue us. Sue us, nigga, sue us. If there's an issue with anything that came out of my mouth, please sue me. Now that's how you end the episode, y'all. I ain't mad. I enjoyed this episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. The MVP this week is definitely going to go to Martell. I did not think I was going to be saying that, but that was amazing. It was amazing how he handled Maurice. Maurice, you're stupid. You just got ran over in some type of fake, what did you call it? Cross-examination with Martell, and you lost. That's sad. Anyway, next week. Oh no, I forgot one. Marceau. This one really didn't make too much sense. They had this extra meetup with Marceau and Kimmy. I'm not sure what this conversation was about. I feel like it had to be there for Kimmy to feel better, because Marceau is smart enough not to have this conversation anymore. He also knows that he was in Vegas, and so he doesn't want to do too much, trying to act, because that's only going to not work in his behalf. So it's better for him to just be like, listen, this nigga's always been this way. Now they're all saying like he's always been like this. They've defended him. Nah, you just don't know you just don't get to see the real side of Martell. Martell's a good guy. Y'all just haven't seen it. Oh, now they're like, he's always been this way. And I'm just not effing with him. That's the best way to go, Marceau. Don't say nothing to him. He said accountability, because this nigga said he wants people to take accountability. So apparently Maurice is having an accountability get together for the guys so they can get together and do what? I don't know. Whatever they're doing over there, Marceau doesn't intend to do any of it with Martell. He said that's accountability. I'm good with where it is. He's good with where it is. He's not, though, Marceau. You better hope, because he wants more. He wants you to apologize and say you're lying. So you might have to deal with a little bit more. But I think the best thing to do is stay out of his way. Next week, Lance and Destiny have this sit down. And Destiny's sitting there looking like his mama chastising him. Is it just me? Or does Destiny look like his big auntie getting on to him for not putting gas in her car when he used it? I'm just saying. They're having a conversation about this baby. I guess this is how they're going to end their fake relationship. What'd you say? They don't want more to come? Yes, they don't want, you talk about Marceau. They don't want him to say anything else. So, but Maurice is so busy over here trying to clear his own name that he's getting it more muddied. It's like quicksand. Every time he stretch out to do, clean it up, he sinks down in that sand even more deep. And Marcel's like, I'm not walking over there. I'm not stepping over there. I'm not helping you get your ass out of there because you should have kept your mouth shut in the first place. So that's where he's at with it. Also next week, all of a sudden, Ken has reservations about marriage. Why? What are your reservations, Ken? I'm not sure. What brought this on? What was the thing? I thought you slapped this. What's this man? Marquez. I thought you slapped him out of the scenario. He's gone. He's gone out into the wilderness. Anyway, Ariane was getting training at the house with Will. Ken, come to the front, please. Did you set that up? Did you set up this thing where Big Will sits right next to Martell and says that Ariane came by his house to work out? It should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for hanging out with me, T. I'll probably call you later, possibly tomorrow, just because we have more to talk about. But yeah, y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.